Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our early afternoon update. I'm Victoria Holmes here in the WNCT Digital Studio. The impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump is now underway. The House impeached Donald Trump for inciting an insurrection last month. The trial started at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, starting with a roll call for the trial. President Trump is the only president to be impeached twice. This is the first impeachment trial to be heard in front of a Senate in U.S. history. WNCT will bring you updates from the trial throughout the week. A new poll from Elon University shows more North Carolinians are warming up to the idea of getting a COVID-19 vaccine. The survey also shows low approval for how state and federal governments are handling vaccine distributions. 12% of people say they already have the vaccine, and 45% say they'll get it once it's available to them. You can read more about the poll on our website. With more vaccines becoming readily available in the state, experts are looking forward to April for improvements in COVID-19 cases. December was the deadliest month of the pandemic for North Carolina. The health department reported about around 1,800 deaths from the virus in December. Dr. David Wool is a professor from University of North Carolina's School of Medicine. Wool says if we see half of that number of deaths in April, that will show the state's cases may continue to improve. And a grim new number reported from the state. The health department reports 10,046 deaths due to COVID-19. One event that could help bring those numbers down are more allocations of COVID vaccines at drugstore chains like Walgreens. People in North Carolina can start scheduling COVID-19 vaccine appointments today, and those vaccine distributions will begin Friday. The doses provided are separate from North Carolina's weekly allocation from the federal government. The pharmacy chain warns supplies are limited. A total of more than 31,000 doses will be spread across 300 locations in North Carolina. And February is Black History Month, and Nexstar is sharing and celebrating Black history by highlighting stories across the country. We'll have a special report from our sister station in Texas, but first, a weather update from your Storm Team 9 meteorologist, Alex Wasilenko.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm your Storm Team 9 meteorologist, Alex Wasilenko, reporting from the WNCT studios and the Storm Team 9 Weather Center. Today, we are tracking a cold Arctic air outbreak across the northern and central plains. However, here in eastern North Carolina and across the southeast United States, be prepared for a spring-like afternoon featuring the full gamut of spring-like weather, including southerly winds, cloudy skies, isolated showers, and maybe even a rumble of thunder or flash of lightning. It's all due in part to a disturbance that'll pass on by today. Oh yeah, the spring-like temperatures, those will steal the weather headlines today too, with highs in the 60s. By the evening and overnight period, as that system ships out to sea, temperatures will drop back down into the 30s and 40s Wednesday morning with patchy fog to start the day. Wednesday and your midweek forecast will remain fairly dry. It's going to be an in-between kind of day with a new disturbance developing to our southwest by Wednesday night. By Wednesday night into Thursday morning, more clouds move on in, and you guessed it, some more rainfall too for your day on Thursday. Be sure to download that free Storm Team 9 weather app to track all the latest series of storms that'll be headed our way over the next week or so. Your 7-day inland forecast, again calling for a brief break in the action on Wednesday, only a 10% and very slight chance of a stray shower. As we go into Thursday and Friday, a new disturbance will arrive with cooler temperatures. We'll be in the low 50s on Friday, back down into the upper 40s though with yet another system for the weekend. Your Valentine's Day weekend will likely feature some chilly rain showers Saturday and Sunday. Valentine's Day itself will be the coldest day of the weekend with those highs in the upper 40s. We begin that is, to lessen those rain chances by next Monday. But check out those temperatures. They will continue to cool down near 48 degrees for an afternoon high next Monday. Make sure to enjoy that warm air today because you know what's coming by next week. I'm your Storm Team 9 meteorologist, Alex Wasilenko.
One man is remembering the legacy of his family. Our sister station in Houston reports on a museum honoring Black cowboys.
Ever since I was 3 years old, I've always wanted to be a cowboy.
Larry Callis's cowboy roots run deep. He comes from a full line of cowboys in El Campo, Texas, and started working on a ranch with his father at the age of 9. Callis went on to ride in the rodeo, then off to college, and then ended up working for the post office while singing country music at night.
They say that has no boundaries. It comes from the heart.
1985, George Strait's manager heard Callis and signed him.
2 weeks before I went to record in Nashville, I lost my voice.
Callis now has what's called vocal dysphonia.
And when I lost my voice, I lost my band, and I lost my manager. But I'm a Christian first, and I'm a cowboy second. I know when God closes one door, he opens up another one.
And God did just that. Callis says 4 years ago, God spoke to him and told him to open the museum to celebrate the unsung black cowboys in his life. So Callis took his life savings and opened the first and only black cowboy museum in the world, a hidden part of history located right outside of Houston in Rosenberg.
I like history, and what I like to do is teach people history. And that's why I started this museum.
And there's so much history to be taught. For instance, African Americans' iconic role in the Wild West. Callis says he first learned about the black cowboy from his dear Uncle Willie.
He said, boy, there were no white cowboys back in the 1920s. I said, how come, Uncle Willie? He said, white cowboys were called cowhands.
In fact, they refused to be called cowboys because that was attached to slaves, just like houseboys, a yard boy, and someone who worked the cows. That was a cowboy.
That's where the word came from. And you call a white man back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s, even in the 50s, a cowboy. He said, I'm not your boy. He said, that's a slave.
In the 1950s, Hollywood got wind of cowboys and cast all white actors, making the John Waynes of our time.
So they put them on TV and called them cowboys.
And it went from there like a tumbleweed rolling on the range. And now this cowboy is educating everyone about what it truly means to be a cowboy, with artifacts dating back over 200 years. Callis's favorite piece in the museum is a wood carving done by a slave who roamed through Texas in the 1850s.
He cut this with an axe, and then he handed it down to his relatives.
How to remember her face?
He just wanted to remember her face and the way she looked. And that's the way she looked when she'd be walking away from you.
When you visit the Black Cowboy Museum, you walk away with so much. But the most important lesson, Callis says, is one his father taught him, to be honest.
He said, if you tell the truth, everybody's going to find out.
And now, thanks to Callis, the truth is out about the Black Cowboy.
Deputies from the Pitt County Sheriff's Office are warning people about a jury duty scam. We'll have the details of how you can avoid that scam on our newscast tonight at 5 and 6 p.m. And today at 2 p.m., we are expecting to hear an update about the coronavirus from the governor in our state. You can watch that here at WNCT.com. Thank you for tuning in to our early afternoon update. I'm Victoria Holmes here in the WNCT Digital Studio.